Ahoy hoy everyone, welcome to another episode of the O Files. We're back with O Files. I'm O and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, so I was doing a little summer cleaning. I have a little time on my hands right now. I'll get into that later, maybe. But yeah, you guys, I was going through some old cords and electronics, and man, I had a whole bunch of cords from the late 90s, early 2000s that I definitely don't need anymore. Remember when we had to walk around with actual cameras? Like every year, like Kodak would come out with a new digital camera. And it had that weird plug. It looked like a square, but it wasn't. But sometimes they were like little, and then somewhere down the line, the plug got fatter. Anyway, I had like 6 of these things. So I kept one of each just in case for the nostalgia of it all. But you know what I came across, you guys? My lights out. Oh my god. Ooh, it's lights out. Yes, you guys. So Lights Out was a puzzle game. They came out back in 1995 by Tiger Electronics. If you remember Tiger Electronics, that was before iPads and all that stuff, right? That was our jam. They had those stupid little games that you couldn't hardly see the screen, but we all just kept buying it for some reason. So anyway, yeah, Lights Out came out in 95. So I was a teenager, so my attention span was kind of weird. Because alongside this, I found my Lights Out guide. I don't know if you really see it. It's just marker. It just says Lights Out guide. I bought a little booklet thingy, and what happened was my my family would go to Mississippi every year from Chicago, and when it's a long trip in the car, so I used to have to keep myself busy. So every year I would either buy like new CDs of new artists' albums that came out, or I might have had something else, and just to keep me busy in the back seat. So y'all, I have down. I thought it was a lot more than this, but apparently it wasn't. So there are 3 modes on this game. Mode 1 is just random games to play, and there are a total of 50. Okay? Now, every time I solved the puzzle, I just kept writing down which button to press. Just so I can get, like, when you start it over, take the batteries out, you gotta do everything all over again. I had time to figure that shit out again. So I wrote everything down so I can just be like, okay, what do I have to do? So I get myself back to like where I left off and continue on. But out of the 50 games, apparently I only made it up to 27. And I was like, hell no, that's it. And I know it's not a lot because I also have the instruction book still. So it does say mode 1 is 50 games. So, okay, well, at least I feel good to say I went past half. Now, when you get to mode 2, then it gets harder. And apparently it's 1,000 games in here. Is that right? Or 100? No, it's 1,000. Now, I could read this again, but I'm not going to. But anyway, it's a lot, right? But then, if you want to just make up your own pattern and give it to your friends and be like, I bet you can't do this. Mode 3 is where you actually go and create your own puzzles. But of course, if you create your own puzzle, you gotta fucking solve it. So look at...
It could be Lights Out for America.
A total distraction that could lead to total destruction.
A contagious new puzzle that's becoming an obsession.
Honey, it's time to put the lights out.
All you have to do is put all the lights out.
Put all the lights out.
Lights out!
It looks so easy.
It's not that easy.
With thousands of different puzzles, it threatens to put the entire nation on the blink. It's Lights Out for America.
Lights Out and New Deluxe Lights Out.
Hey, who turned the lights out?
So let's turn the game on. Hey, right? All right. So we are going to start a game. And we are on number 1. And now you got 3 lights lit up. Okay. Hopefully you can see that good. Okay, y'all. So hopefully you can see the lights a little better. I have a little dimmer in here. All right. So look, this is how we're going to solve this puzzle, right? So Puzzle number one, we have these three lights on in the middle. Now, in this case, we have a light that's on here and the surrounding lights are off. And when I say surrounding, I mean the one on top, the one on the bottom, and the one right next to it. So if you were to press the light that's on, the lights that are surrounding it will do the opposite. So now these are on, right? So you start to learn that there's a pattern with this game where if you need to turn certain things on or off, you have to figure out like what is happening around it, right? So in order to solve this puzzle, what you have to do is start with the light that's off underneath. Okay. So now the light that was off is on and the surrounding ones are on. You want to do the next one there. We're going to do this light here. And now we have 6 lights on, right? And sometimes when you have a puzzle, like it started with 3 and now you have like 6, you're like, what the hell? There's more lights on now. You just got to continue on with this pattern. So what you do is we're going to hit this first one in the last row here. Okay. And then we're going to hit the middle one, this last row here. And now, since we have 1, 2, 3, and these lights are all on, if you hit the one in the middle, it's going to turn off, which is now going to turn off the lights surrounding. So if we go ahead and do that, we have now won the game. And now it's going to take me to puzzle number 2. And now we're on the next one, which as you can see, there's a hell of a lot more than the first one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to hit this button that's on, right? So the one on top went off and these 3 that were surrounding it on the sides at the bottom turned on, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and hit this one right here. I'm going to eliminate these 3 that are lit up over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit this middle one right here. And now you kind of see how I pushed all these to the side. So I have 3 lit up right here. And I got 3 lit up down here. So now all I got to do is hit this middle button to turn all those off. And I'm left with these 4. And we now know that since they're all on, right, here's a middle button. One on top is on, bottom is on, side is on. If I hit the middle, it's going to turn off the lights. Yay! Uh-oh. Hey! And now we are on puzzle 3. So that is lights out, you guys. Now, you get used to it after a while. Again, you just can't just be like push, 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 push. Sometimes you think you have the pattern and you do it and then you get stuck. But then you kind of do this thing where like, I don't know what it's like. I don't know if it has a name. But like you have to kind of move stuff down because sometimes you end up with stuff at like in a corner or at the bottom or at the top. And then you have to start at the bottom or top, wherever you get stuck at. Turn on a couple lights, then start getting rid of those lights to push everything to where you are. Okay, whatever I just said just doesn't make sense, and I don't feel like showing it to you. I showed you enough. But yeah, that is lights out. So you have your on-off button right here. Here's where to start the games. You have a sound button because the sound sometimes can get annoying on here. There's no sound like control. The sound is either on or off. Now, you do have a help button at the bottom. So if you ever do get stuck, the game will help you and give you like a flash of light that you can do to kind of get you on your way. But other than that, yes, lights out. So now that I see that I suck and I haven't even seen a very, very high percentage of the games that are on this thing, I think I'm just going to leave this out. And when I have like some downtime or something, like I'm going to figure this shit out. So let me know in the comments below. Have you ever played Lights Out? Do you remember this? Because it is fun. It's a really fun game. All right, you guys, that concludes this episode of the O-Files. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode. So until then, TTFN.